Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because today's story isn't just hot, it's the kind of political wildfire that makes you question whether the thermostat broke or the nation did. We're diving straight into Zimbabwe's boiling pot of chaos, corruption, and commentary, and trust me, this one feels like a crossover between a documentary and a disaster movie. 8 years after the 2017 military intervention, the country was supposed to be cleaned up, reset, and rescued from criminals, right? Well, fast forward to right now, and even some of the country's big-name business voices are openly saying the criminals didn't leave, they just upgraded their offices and bought better cars. And right in the center of this political thunderstorm stands one man amplifying the alarms louder than a fire truck at 3 a.m., Blessed Geza. This guy isn't whispering warnings, he's dropping verbal grenades with the confidence of someone who's seen the blueprints of the whole system and knows exactly where the rot is hiding. Today, we're breaking all of this down in a sharp, fast, and wild top 10 format that'll keep you locked in from start to finish. Let's jump into it. 8 years have flown by since the military helped Mnangagwa rise to power, supposedly to sweep out the criminals hovering around Mugabe. But according to the voices speaking out today, including business leaders, journalists, and even insiders, those criminals didn't get swept out. They just hit the refresh button and reappeared wearing newer suits. Businessman Chinakira even described Zimbabwe as a shell without a soul, which is basically corporate speak for this place is being looted like a clearance sale. People expected progress, stability, maybe even a sense of national direction. But instead, what they got was deeper decay wrapped in fancy speeches. And if you think that's rough, wait till you see who's actually running things behind the curtain. Blessed Geza and several other outspoken voices revealed that criminals aren't just influencing power, they're sitting inside it, kicking their feet up like they own the living room. It's like a bizarre episode of Zimbabwe's Got Looters. And the real twist, the system allows it, or worse, protects it. The criminals aren't hiding anymore, they're styling. But don't worry, because the gaslighting gets even crazier when we talk about Zimbabwe's drug crisis. Mnangagwa recently gave a speech claiming he's deeply concerned about drug abuse and that he's committed to crushing the suppliers. Sounds noble, right? Except his own minister has already pointed out that many of the big-time drug suppliers are, wait for it, members of his own party structures. So how does the president not know who keeps eating his food while crumbs are literally falling from his own pockets? Blessed Geza calls this what it is, straight-up presidential gaslighting. And honestly, the evidence kind of speaks for itself. But buckle up, because now we enter the identity theft chapter of this political novella. When things got heated, fake social media accounts started popping up pretending to be Blessed Geza, posting statements claiming he wanted peace with the leadership and was ready to return to Zimbabwe. But the real Geza shut that down immediately, blasting the impersonators and confirming he wasn't reconciling with anybody. He even said the fake accounts were likely connected to government intelligence trying to influence public opinion. So not only is Geza fighting the system, he's also fighting cyber clones of himself. This whole situation feels like a political version of Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, except the stakes here are national survival. And if identity manipulation doesn't grab you, wait till you see what Geza wore that sent shockwaves across the country. Blessed Geza has been appearing publicly in military camouflage, not as a fashion statement, but as a declaration. And the wild part? The Zimbabwean military has never distanced themselves from him. Not once. Not even a polite, "these views do not represent us." Nothing. Dead silence. And in politics, silence isn't silence. Silence is signal. That silence said, yeah, we see him, and we ain't mad. In a country where clothing can be political artillery, Geza's uniform choice was like lighting a match in a gasoline warehouse. It sent a message that the military is watching, and maybe waiting. But now we slide into the legal arena, where the truth gets even scarier. Years ago, Zimbabwe's own constitutional court ruled that the 2017 military intervention was lawful because the state institutions had been captured and not functioning properly. That decision quietly created a legal doorway, one that basically says, if institutions are captured again, another intervention is legally justified. And right now, people are arguing that every institution, from justice to security, has been compromised or overrun by criminal networks. Lawyers analyzing the situation say that if another coup happens today, it would be considered lawful under the same logic. So, ironically, the system created the rulebook for its own removal. And if the legal stamp of approval wasn't terrifying enough, the criminal operations themselves tell an even darker story. Zimbabwe today is being suffocated by criminal syndicates with deep political protection. They control tenders, disappear money faster than a browser's incognito mode, influence decisions, intimidate whistleblowers, and in some cases even plant explosives in opponents' vehicles. The president has allegedly defended some of them publicly, referring to certain controversial figures as philanthropists. Imagine calling a man with 12 unanswered corruption allegations a philanthropist. It's like calling a bank robber a financial enthusiast. The people aren't blind. They see what's happening and they see who's protecting who. And none of it adds up to national progress. But trust me, the political circus gets even wilder with the wannabe leaders. Some of the individuals positioning themselves as future leaders aren't presenting policies, ideas, or national plans. Nope, they're presenting dances, giveaways, and Instagram-level theatrics, buying cars for influencers, handing out envelopes, hosting seductive performances. It's more circus than campaign. And Blessed Geza isn't buying the act for a second. He says these characters are wasting their time because Zimbabwe won't be freed under criminals dressed as entertainers. The idea that provocative dances and flashy gifts can win political legitimacy shows exactly how far the country has fallen into manufactured illusions. And if you think the criminals only want influence, nope, they want full institutional control. One of the most alarming developments was the attempt to push out a key military intelligence director, someone who reportedly knew too much about the criminal networks. That move revealed exactly what the criminals want: total, uninterrupted control of Zimbabwean institutions. Every department captured, every authority compromised, every watchdog silenced. And that exact scenario, total institutional capture, is what the Constitutional Court originally ruled as grounds for military intervention. In other words, the criminals might be accidentally writing the script for their own removal. And now for the final explosive fact, the one Blessed Geza stands on with absolute certainty. After years of corruption, abductions, abuse of power, stolen national wealth, collapsing institutions, and systematic decay, Blessed Geza says military intervention is now the only option left to save Zimbabwe. Not the best option, the only one. He says criminals have hijacked the nation, broken every system, and turned governance into a mafia-style operation. And with legal experts confirming the courts already set the precedent for a lawful intervention, Zimbabwe might be standing at the doorway of another political earthquake. Whether people like it or not, it might be the only move that resets the system. So now the question lands right in your hands. Zimbabweans, what do you think? Is military intervention the only path left to rescue a country that's been dragged through chaos, corruption, and criminal leadership? Or is there still a peaceful route hiding somewhere under all the noise? Drop your thoughts in the comments because your voice matters more than you realize. Make sure you hit like if you care about exposing the truth. Share this video in every WhatsApp group, every Facebook page, every community you can reach. And of course, subscribe to Global Pulse News, the one channel delivering real talk, raw truth, and fearless commentary with the energy, accuracy, and attitude the world needs right now. Stay aware, stay smart, and stay bold. Zimbabwe deserves better. And the conversation starts with all of us.